Must end it before the movie. 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 How to remind everyone that a new movie is coming. Advertise it in the end. Joking aside, it is more evident that the series is really close to the end, as not only the message from the chapter cover is getting close to complete, whatever they may be, but so has the battle. Perhaps it is trying to end before the movie or shortly after, but whenever it is, the chapter serves a decent end, though rest of it filled with teases. The first half focuses on the decent do or die moment from Pegasus' crew. It has a short moment of calm before storm with Wendy and Anna. I'm not sure there will be a resolution on gaining memory back for Wendy or Dragon Slayers in general, but I guess that's another time. Urza is more about trust, so at least they show some doubt rather than leave us thinking how fast they believe Anna's story. It's funny though, because it almost implies that it hints at Anna's betrayal. Won't that be something? It could be Kaguya's tear from Naruto's twist, though I doubt that would happen. That would be too much, even for this series. And I know this series has done a lot of odd choices. It has a good suspense to see if the great time lapse would actually work on Arcalugia. All he has to do is touch it, and Victory Song will play it loudly. The barrel roll feels like a reference, mainly because, well, Mashima is a gamer, so you could kind of connect the dot, but that's just me. Things feel rather easy, which you already sense something will go wrong. Oddly enough, the part that went wrong isn't that he didn't touch it, whether that implies that he actually would have died, or maybe he intentionally did so because he knows the outcome. The fault goes to the seal. Even the great thing can be sealed up. Naturally, that means they will have to redo it again, only they have to somehow unseal it before repeating the process. Since there's no real progress, you can't say this was a waste of time. Understandably so. It didn't focus too much of it, however, so there are some other points to appreciate. Not to mention, it serves a ticky time bomb, as in, they really need to get it done before Zerov arrives, let alone the fact that Arcalugia is still roaming around. Speaking of Zerov, he ends up being the one that sealed it. It makes sense that now we know that he knows about the time lapse, so the logical thing to do is to make sure no one can touch it. I guess that's where it benefits the plot point from the cliffhanger from the last chapter. It makes things complicated. Another piece that greatly teases is the Book of N finally opened up and letters flying into the air. I would joke that I forgot this series is based on magic, but it holds up from it, so I won't. I did wish for more whimsical approach. As much as I was anticipated to see this, it cuts away and goes back to Natsu vs Zerov as there's no action taking place. I still say the art is pretty good for the most part. It's not the greatest, but it's pleasing to see the double pages with a dragon and a flying ship. Visually, it is solid. Despite being a tease, it was neat to see a glimpse of N in his magical vibe. I know the series is at the end, but I would have liked more of that. The ending is probably the best part of this chapter. In fact, this whole chapter is practically a build-up chapter because, well, that's what it essentially is. Everything is all building up. All the main pieces are in place as Mavis finally arrives to Zerov, and he couldn't be any happier. If you're needed to be reminded that there is a new movie that focuses on Natsu and his dragon form, then look no further than this chapter, because Natsu is powering up and he has his dragon side overtaking him. I didn't understand on how everyone seems to think he discarded his dragon cell. It was only said that he allowed both dragon and demon cells in his human body. At least this power up came from an established source, so I cannot complain. I am thrilled to see what this form can offer. Perhaps leave a tie into the movie. This should be good. The chapter is more of a build-up, and that's fine for the most part. The problem lies on how people would accept the teases that was left off from the last chapter with little progress on one front. Either you'll be fine with it or be frustrated. The end helps to balance out, so it's not a waste. If anything, it ironically progressed small yet enough to the breaking point, so the next chapter will serve well. I'm giving this chapter a 7. At least we know that the next chapter release will actually be a double chapter. And no, I'm not mistaken with the Shonen Jump way of saying double issues, but this is a double chapter, 2 chapters on one release day. So I don't know if this is the idea that he's trying to end this arc before the movie. He's trying to end the series, whatever. Then again, there is a golden week, so we don't know exactly what's the intention behind this. What are your thoughts of this chapter? Do you think Mashima is truly aiming for the end of this arc before the movie release? The movie release is actually in next month. There's little time to even do so. My guess is that he's going to end it this year at the very least, and perhaps end it shortly after the movie release. That's the only way I can see. Unless he truly rushed this, then that would be disappointing. Unless they give him a 4-chapter release on one day, then be my guest. And that will do it for today's review. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.